Throws between 67 and 70 miles an hour, according to Coach Marissa Young. And she said she's a power pitcher, Rain, who works up in the zone, gets a lot of strikeouts, and has to be a little more settled in right now. Only a one-run deficit here for her and her teammates.
Yeah, just can't play as if you know the scoreboard, obviously, especially against this Florida State offense. It just doesn't get easy pitch by pitch. This team is so good at adjusting, especially Jason Beecham. Her ability to go 0 for 3 last night and then her fourth at bat, get that 3-run double, is massive.
2-1 popped up to fairly deep in center. Jennings has the catch, and that's one out of the inning.
Yeah, and for this Duke team, especially this bullpen, Cassidy Curd, that's a player you have to circle. We're not going to let her beat us. And if you can collect first outs in innings, you're in a good position. You go back to the second. It was the 0-2 count to Michaela Edenfield, ended up by a hit by pitch. That's not a leadoff out. And we all know the stats that says if you get that leadoff out, you are in a good position defensively in the first. They do it if you're Duke. And, of course, here in the third, they do that there, getting Jason Beecham to fly out.
So it brings up Kennedy Harp, fouls it away for strike one. Harp 0 for 1, a ground out to short to end the first inning. 0-1 from Curd. Up and away, counting it up 1 ball and 1 strike. So Harp, last year, named to the ACC All-Freshman team. Hit .309 last year, had 5 homers and 19 runs batted in, now in her sophomore campaign. 1 ball, 1 strike. Pitch from Curd. Called strike. On the corner, and it's 1 ball, 2 strikes. Curd in the 1-2. And tried to make her chase up and away in the zone, and Harp wasn't going to have it. Even up at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Game 2 of a 3-game weekend series. Florida State took last night's game in 5 innings, run ruled 12-4 over Duke. 2-2 from Curd on the hands of the bat, and that drops into shallow center for a base hit. Good piece of hitting by Kennedy Harp. Got jammed in the hands and muscled it just enough to
steal threat for this Florida State offense as well. They have things cooking again here in the top of the third.
So brings up Michaela Edenfield, and she fouls off the first pitch for strike 1. Edenfield hit by pitch in the second inning in her first time up. Also scored a run in that 2-run Florida State second. .01 from Curd. High strike call at the waist-high level, and it's 0-2 to Michaela.
Offense, that's what you typically see. The bulk of pitches from Cassie Curd is pitches up in the zone. So if you preset, if you pre-stack and go for that pitch, you put yourself in a good position. But Curd playing the cat and mouse game very well and showing her different stuff.
1-2 outside the zone. 2 balls, 2 strikes. We've seen both pitchers, Rain, throw wicked changeups here today. You played this game at this level in the ACC. What's the key to recognizing and hitting a changeup?
Well, typically out of the hand, there's a couple different things. The best changeups that I ever faced.
That's through the left side for a base hit. Ball gets away, and getting up an extra base is Harp.
Takes advantage and goes to second base. In that situation, the pre-pitch communication is about the speed of Kennedy Harp. In that situation, you have to get 2 and split the runners.
And Katie Dack, the designated player, is at the plate and takes strike 1. No balls and 1 strike to Dack. She walked and scored in her first trip to the plate in the second inning. With Harp at third and Edenfield at second. 1 out, 2 runners in scoring position for the Seminoles. Counting it up at 1 ball, 1 strike. And the infield playing in for the most part, slightly in at the middle infield spots, in at the corners. That's fouled away for strike 2.
Yeah, and that's the approach that you have to have for Florida State. Something elevated, especially in this situation, will score a run. Knowing the speed you have in Kennedy Harp, even a shallow fly ball, we saw it last night, Florida State will take advantage. So if I'm Dak, I'm looking for something elevated to get out into the green.
1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Curd blows it by her. And is out number 2 in the inning, strike down and high. Kerr, 1-for-1 RBI single to center in the second inning. That was power versus power. High strike throw from Curd and a big swing from Kerr. So Curd pitches to Kerr. 0-1. Little bunt fielded by Kerr. No! Can't make the play. Run scores. Harp scores from third. Going to second base all the way is Janai Kerr, and it's now 3-1 Florida State. Kaser, and she fouls it away for strike 1. So now that 2-run lead is back in full force here for Florida State. And why do you not throw that ball in that situation?
It's a complete mental miscue there to not throw it, not communicate what's happening. Honestly, when I watched that play, it looked like Jada Baker didn't even know Kerr was taking second base, which immediately waves the flag of communication. And right now is the time that if I'm Kyrie Rodriguez behind the plate, I'm calling time. I'm regrouping my defense because they're not beating you with the bombs like they did last night.
Wade Kaser drops it into right for a base hit. 1 run scores. Here's another potential scoring run. Yes, she dives in safely. Kerr scores. 2 runs scored. The base hit, and it's now 5-1 Florida State.
Takes the 5-1 lead and just taking advantage of every single step, every single foot on these 60-foot base-to-base paths.
And getting a lot of runs here, key timely hits with 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, and I think if you're Duke, you're gonna look at the video of this game and see that there was a number of times you could have just collected outs, especially that Jada Baker play when Janai Kerr was going to second. If you give the ball up and you find an out, then you limit the damage, especially early in this ball game and your offense is starting to show some life. Just missed opportunities here for this Duke team so far in this one.
And we just saw another shot of head coach Lonnie Alameda. Talked about all her wins. There's a base hit to left field for Florida State. But back to Coop. The pitcher, Ashton Danley, is up there at the plate. Another lefty on lefty. Curd throws, and it's ball 1.
And you can see Cassidy Curd trying to work the bottom part of the zone, and that'll be critical. And especially against this offense who, I mean, look at game 1. 14 hits, 4 of them extra bases, 5 2-out RBIs. Absolutely dominant performance. Early in that game, it looked to be kind of a back-and-forth battle. Same thing here today. But so far in game 2, 6 hits, 3 2-out RBIs, and they limit the strikeout. They just don't give up outs often and put pressure on defense and use the speed.
Through the right side for a base hit. Throw home, nobody coming home. Bases loaded here for Florida State, and 2 outs in the inning.
And it looks like head coach Marissa Young gonna call time, go talk to her ball club. And right now it's about figuring out where are we missing, what are they doing, how can we counteract in the cat and mouse game. And ultimately that was a nice piece of hitting there. I mean, this whole Florida State offense has put together quality at bat after quality at bat. But it's a conversation now of, hey, what can we do here to adjust? And also potentially give your bullpen some time to loosen up. At this point in the game, you cannot let this get out of hand. But Florida State, like we've talked about, their ability with their backs against the wall, 2 outs, just to put together quality at-bats. This is one of the best offenses in the country, and we are seeing that so far today.
5 base hits in the inning for Florida State. 3 runs have scored here in the top of the third for the Seminoles. Bases loaded, 2 outs. Seminoles getting good timely hitting with 2 outs. And this is just a tough team to play. Top to bottom, the order 1 through 9, very dominant here for Florida State. Just one reason why the team is out to a 27-5 start overall, 4-0 in the ACC. Top of the order we go, Issa Torres, the 9th player to come to the plate in the inning for Florida State. Into left field, it drops for a base hit. Scoring from third is Waycaser. Rounding third, heading on home is Bueno. Also rounding third, coming home is Danley. Slides, safe. Out at third base though, but all three runners that were on base score. Inning is over, but Florida State puts up 6 runs in the third.
And now Florida State sitting pretty here in the bottom of the third.
Anna Gold, first pitch that she sees, pops it up to deep right. Waycaser is there. No, it's gone. Home run by Gold. I saw the umpire do this.
Yeah.
Didn't you see it too?
I didn't. I saw her catch it. But hey, we're sitting pretty far away. But ultimately first out of the inning for this Florida State ball club. And that inning also allows Florida State an opportunity to let Ashton Danley go. And they have a ton of arms in the bullpen that they don't even need to show at this point in the game, which puts them in even better position for Game 3 tomorrow. So the offense helps the bullpen helps the offense.
Burgess up there, fouls it away. So Burgess, so far in the game, 0 for 1, a ground out to short in the first. If you're Duke, how do you put some runs on the board here to try and cut into this lead?
Every single pitch is an opportunity to execute, and so you have to break it down into pitch by pitch, at bat. There's no 7-run swing in softball.
So Danley pitching well here today for Florida State. Look at the pitching by committee numbers here, Rain, for Florida State. Francic, Apsell, Danley, Widra. That's just dominant pitching here this year.
Yeah, and so many tools in the toolbox for head coach Lonnie Alameda. And not to mention Gooden and Reed, and of course the defense of Jason. That is a dangerous place to be in for the rest of the teams in the ACC and the rest of the teams in the country.
Yeah, which is scary because, yeah, she said her team's not been hitting on all cylinders yet, but the team is 27-5. It's 4-0 in the league. It has dominant offense. It's shown good pitching and defense today, so I'm not seeing any weaknesses yet.
I'm not seeing any either. I think there's been some moments of defensive miscues that has opened up opportunity for Duke, but to me, those are things you can shore up. And you look at the top left, they're 11th in the ACC in fielding percentage, and that is not characteristic of the Florida State program that we all know. And so those are things they can shore up, I think, very quickly. But the key components, the arms in the circle, the defense, the athletes that you have on the field, and of course the offense, I mean, this team is going to be tough to beat.
Right back to the circle. Danley is there. Easy throw, and the inning is over. Duke goes down 1-2-3 in the third after 3 complete.
Well, this team is going to be tough to beat.
Yeah, Coach Alameda said before the game this team has been relying on its athleticism with each other and the batting order 1 through 9. It's just a murderer's row of hitters through the lineup. Says this team plays for each other. It cares for one another. This team last year, 46-16, went 19-5 in the ACC, second place in the league. Made it to an NCAA Super Regional. This year's team, 27-5 and 4-0 in ACC play. That is lined into center field. It drops in for a base hit. It goes all the way to the wall. Beecham rounding first, hitting and sliding into second. Curd, but no play, and everyone's safe. Beecham safe at third, and Harp an infield single.
And with this Duke team right now, seeing some hesitation across the board defensively, not just playing freely. And there we see Curd expecting Malaulu to come across. But again, I don't know if there would have been a play because of Harp's speed, and likely going to take second here quickly.
Edenfield swings and misses for strike one. Edenfield 1 for 1 in the game. Hit by pitch, single to left. She has scored 2 runs, and look at the numbers for Edenfield. 181 runs batted in since 2021. That's a lot of production offensively for her career.
Yeah, I'm gonna be deeply saddened when it's time for Edenfield to hang up the Florida State garnet and gold cleats, because that list of players that she is with in terms of RBIs, in terms of execution, those are goats, and Michaela Edenfield is a goat in and of herself.
That's hit deep to right field. That is over the wall and gone. A 3-run shot for Edenfield. And for Edenfield, her 6th home run of the season, and Florida State has blown it open 11-1 here in the
fourth.
A 2-run first, a 6-run third, a 3-run fourth, and still nobody out here in the 4th inning. At the plate, Katie Dack. Dack is 0 for 1, a walk and a strikeout, and a run scored as well. You see the Florida State offense, game 1, 12 runs, game 2, 11 runs, and we're only in the 4th inning.
Yeah, the majority of their games they've won by run rule. And to me, what's so impressive about those numbers is the fact that it's up and down the lineup. There's no 3 or 4 hitters in the middle that are making this production happen. It is 1 through 9. I feel for any arms in the circle because there's no moment that you could take the gas pedal off. You have to be locked in pitch after pitch because if you miss over the middle against this Florida State team, they're going to make you pay.
15 run rule wins this year by Florida State. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Down goes Dack. That's out number 1.
It looks kind of in the hands of Florida State. A lot of softball left, but you still have game 3 tomorrow. And although the series, if Florida State goes on to win this game, the series is won. Every single game matters, especially with resume. And Duke's going to need Cassidy Curd. And we talked about the company Michaela Edenfield had it, but how about the company that Cassidy Curd has? Number 3 all-time in strikeouts in this young Duke program. Peyton St. George leading the way. Jayla Wright, of course, who graduated last year, has left a big hole in the bullpen for Duke. But Cassidy Curd, I mean, used to striking batters out, used to getting the swings and misses, and gets her 3rd of the day against Katie Dack.
Yeah, we talked to Coach Marissa Young of Duke before the game about Cassidy Curd and about her new mechanics this year. And she said the coaching staff identified what is best to put Curd in a better position from an energy and delivery standpoint. And with the work that she puts in, she will be a factor in helping this team try to get back to the College World Series. As Kerr pops it up down the line, third baseman Malau Ulu makes the catch, and that's 2 outs in the inning.
Yeah, and that's huge for this team to just bounce back. And you can't play looking at the scoreboard because the game doesn't know at bat to at bat. You just got to keep fighting. And this team has to have perspective of the strength of schedule they've had and the season that they hope to have down the road. Because if you let these games turn into things that are bigger than they are, into the next game, you let that bleed into tomorrow. And if you're Duke, you have to find a way to have short-term memory and to just keep battling pitch after pitch.
Waycaser at the plate. Waycaser is 2 for 2. 2 singles, 1 to left, 1 to right, 3 RBIs in the game. Florida State leads it 11-1 in the 4th. Upstairs, 3 balls and no strikes.
And to go back to the approach for Cassidy Curd and the adjustment she's made in the circle in terms of her start, her mechanics, they worked with motor preference, and that actually is also attached to the red line you see down the chest protector of Kyrie Rodriguez. Now, I'm not smart enough to explain all the science behind it, but in talking to head coach Marissa Young about it, it's just about these athletes' bodies and what they respond best to. Is it a vertical red line? Is it a horizontal blue line? And so that also plays into it is the start by Cassidy Curd. Doesn't lean back as much. And this year, when you see the numbers, inflated ERA, not as getting as many strikeouts as she had in the past, but I attribute that to everyone is preparing for Cassidy Curd. Everyone knows Cassidy Curd. And you also have to look at the strength of schedule of this Duke team. They have played formidable opponents weekend after weekend, and I think that also plays into it as well.
Angelie Bueno, first baseman at the plate. 1 on 2 outs. She did not start the game at first base, but she came in a couple of innings ago as a defensive replacement for Amaya Ross. Bueno singled the left and scored in that 6-run Florida State. And Curd and Rodriguez talking, going over strategy here with 1 on and 2 outs in the inning. One-0 to Bueno, and smacks it foul down the first base side. Counting it up, 1 ball, 1 strike. Bueno, 5'7" sophomore from Oviedo, Florida, 0 for 1 in the game last night with a strikeout against Duke. 1-1, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two-one from Curd. That is smacked foul, almost took out first base umpire Matthew Dial. Had to become a matador and say ole, trying to get out of the way of that swing. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Florida State has scored at least 1 run in every inning except the first. Popped up, should end the inning, right fielder Thomas.
So it's important to continue to battle and chip away at this lead. A lot of softball left.
Malaulu 0 for 1, a fly out to center in the second inning. Again, a transfer from UCLA, picked up by Duke at the portal in the offseason. As Danley rocks and fires the 0-1. Counting it up, 1 ball and 1 strike. Back to Malaulu. Coach Young picked her up in the portal, and they shifted, as we said, on a gold from third to short. Malaulu now the starting third baseman. Says she's a tough, gritty player as she flies one to deep center. Harp is there, and that's the first out of the inning.
Yeah, and that changeup, 47 miles per hour on the radar. Not used to seeing that in D1 softball, but it is purposeful by Ashton Danley. Her ability to throw a drop ball at 68 and then absolutely pull the string on the changeup has led to a ton of success today against this Duke offense.
Kyrie Rodriguez up there with 1 out, nobody on. The pitch inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Rodriguez. Did not play last year, redshirted. 0 for 3 last night, 2 strikeouts against Florida State, and she's walked and scored in her only trip to the plate here today in the second inning and waxed that one foul for a strike. One ball, 1 strike to Rodriguez with Baker on deck. To the right side, second baseman Potter is there. Easy throw. That's the second out of the inning.
Now batting, number 25, it's Jada Baker.
Brings up Jada Baker. She's 1 for 1. Single to left in the second inning. As Ashton Danley looking good in the circle today here for Florida State. Again, comes in 4-1 in the year. ERA 1.65. And range, she just looks smooth out there. She looks confident. She looks comfortable, and she should be as a 10-run lead.
Yeah, and to that point, Brock, pitching with aggression, filling up the zone, trusting her defense behind her. And at this point of the game, that's the goal. There's no 10-run swing at this point, so you're just trying to fill up the zone. And you look at their 53 pitches. That's it. And so, although we'll likely see a different arm just because Lani Alameda has so many, but still fresh, 4 1/3 innings, and has been nearly perfect. Or 4 2/3, I should say.
Popped it up. Easy catch for Potter. She's there to end the inning. Duke here. Schuler against Danley, and Danley rips it into left field for a base hit. Goes opposite way on the first pitch. Danley having a good day. 2 for 3 now at the plate. Pitching well in the circle. She's on at first here to lead off the 5th.
Pitch down the middle to get comfortable, but to take that pitch, turn it through the 5-6 hole, and get her offense going again.
Number 3, Issa Torres.
Potter comes in as the courtesy runner over at first base. Back to the top of the order for Florida State. Issa Torres is up there. Her 4th trip to the plate here this afternoon. Ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Torres is 1 for 3, had a big double to left to drive in 3 runs in that 6-run third inning, but then was later tagged out at third base, tried to stretch a double into a triple. But the Seminoles broke the floodgates open in the third inning with 6 runs, 3 in the fourth, comfortably ahead 10 runs here in the top of the 5th. A little bit low, 2 balls and 1 strike. To the right side, stepping on the bag at first is Baker, and that's all she can get. So Baker steps on the bag.
Johnson calls that one foul, and Issa Torres will get another shot.
So she will get another shot. That's outside. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes. Hot shot to third, base hit the left. Danley stops at second, and
All the tools that Issa Torres has in the toolbox there takes advantage of a good barrel, and now Florida State again, first and second, nobody out in striking distance.
Jay Sunny Beecham up there. Ball 1 to her, 1 ball, no strikes. She is 1 for 3 in the game. Couple of pop-ups, and her last time up, a double to center. Scored a run in that 3-run Florida State 4th inning. Upstairs, 2 balls, no strikes. The 2-0. That is lined into left, caught by Burgess. And that is out number 1 in the inning. If you're Duke, how do you regroup here? You're down 10. Defense first, get stops before focusing on the job at the plate.
Yeah, just got to keep battling. Just got to keep on going until the umpires tell you ball game's over. You can't look at the scoreboard and make it this big, massive mountain that you have to climb. It's 1 foot in front of the other, and it's a tall task against this Florida State offense, as it looks like we'll see a pinch hitter here. But for Duke, to your point, Brock, it's just making pitch after pitch. If you're in the circle, if you're the freshman Schuler, and for this defense, it's playing defense like you know how. Don't make the game bigger. Don't make the moment bigger. Don't make the deficit bigger than it is. Just play every pitch.
Pinch hitter for Kennedy Harp. It's number 9, Shelby McKenzie. Takes ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. So McKenzie pinch hitting here for Harp. Called strike. Outside corner. 1 ball, 1 strike. One, 1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. So McKenzie at the plate for the season, hitting .367. It's her 20th game of the year. No home runs, but does have 9 RBIs for the season. So she can drive in runs, and good eye there. Oh no, they call it a strike on the inside corner. 2 balls, 2 strikes.
Yeah, when your offense plays the way that this Florida State offense has played all game long, you open up opportunities to develop other players on your team.
Lined and cut by Malau Ulu. Throw to second, not in time. Good defense by Tessa Malau Ulu at third. Almost doubled up. Potter, its inning is over. No run score here for Florida State in the inning, but the Seminoles lead it by 10, 11-1. We go to the 5th. Last year, the 9-1-2 hitters up there for Duke. Brooklyn Thomas up there. And Thomas takes ball 1, 1 ball, no strikes. Thomas 1 for 1 RBI, single to right. In the second inning, that's the only run driven in by Duke here today.
Christina Hartley comes in to play second base for Annie Potter. So Florida State making some adjustments, not only in the circle, but defensively as well. And it just speaks to the depth on this ball club. I mean, the fact that we talked about Katie Dack earlier, didn't start every single game. Janai Kerr this year hasn't started every single game. That's not a knock on them, but more so just speaks to the depth of this Florida State ball club, that they can plug in pieces anywhere and have success.
Called strike, 2 balls and 1 strike to Brooklyn Thomas. Talked about that RBI single in the second inning that cut a 2-0 lead in half, 2-1, but since then it's been all Florida State. Swings late at that one, fouls it away. Count even, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Duke must score at least 3 more runs here to extend the game here in the 5th. But hits have been hard to come by. 1 run on just 3 hits today against Florida State pitching. That's upstairs by Apsell. Full count, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Thomas. It's Thomas, Jennings, Vega, 9-1-2 hitters for Duke at the plate. That is lined into right center field for a base hit. Thomas, 2 for 2 in the game.
State, but you always have life when you have outs to play. But for this team too, it's not just about today, it's about tomorrow as well. How can you position yourself with confidence for game 3 as well?
Jennings slaps it, and that's through for a base hit. Little chopper that got over the shortstop's head into left center field. So back-to-back hits here for Duke.
And if there's some bright spots.
Now for the 5th inning, Amina Vega up there. Vega is 0 for 2, strikeout and a flyout as well.
Yeah, and for Florida State right now, the good news is that you have a 10-run cushion, so you can attack Amina Vega. And the bad news is that you're not getting calls like that. That right there, maybe we could take another look at this one. This one did not miss by much if you're Apsell. I mean, to me, that's, knee high on the corner. But hey, everyone makes mistakes, and it looks like our home plate umpire, Scott Tomlinson, might have just made one there, but tough job behind the plate.
Apsell bounces one up in there, ball 3, 3 balls and no strikes. So 2 on, nobody out. Duke batting, needs to score at least 3 runs in this frame to extend the game. Got run ruled last night, 12-4 in 5, now trailing by 10, 11 and 1 in the 5th. Vega at the plate.
Yeah, and Taylor Wyke, the associate head coach for this Duke ball club, goes to third base to start coaching. Second season at Duke, is the hitting coach for this ball club, and I like the move. I mean, what do you got to lose? Maybe try something new for this Duke offense.
Hit deep to left, back at the wall, but it's gone! 3-run shot by Amina Vega. Vega gets the home run, her 4th of the year. RBIs 24, 25, 26, and Duke only trails by 7. Anna Gold up there. Gold 0 for 2, ground out to third, fly out to right. By the way, Gold is Duke's all-time career home run leader, 43 home runs in her great Duke career. Pops that one up down the right field line, and that is a foul ball, they say. Almost fair, almost out of the ballpark, but it's fouled just by a couple of feet for strike. Gold bounces one up in there from Apsell. 2 balls and 1 strike. Gold last year, one of 6 Duke players to start all 61 games. 2 years ago, first team All-ACC, pops it up, infield. Second baseman has it, that's out number 1 in the inning.
Next up, number 5, Almaya Burgess.
And that's the bounce back you need if you're Julia Apsell. Find it out, you give up the 3-run bomb, then you get on a goal to fly out. Now you got to deal with Amaya Burgess, but stay the course, continue to attack hitters, let your defense work behind you.
Here's Burgess. Lefty on lefty, ball 1. 1 ball, no strikes to Burgess. 0 for 2, ground out to short, then a line out to third base. So making contact on the ball today, just not able to poke it through the infield. 1-0 pitch. Ball 2. She had a triple in last night's game and an RBI. 0 for 2 in this game. Last year, Burgess, good season, 3rd team All-ACC. Also made the ACC All-Freshman team. 2-0. Here's a called strike. So Apsell trying to bounce back after giving up that 3-run shot. Retired Gold on a pop-up, now facing Burgess. Nobody on, 1 out for Duke. That's popped up, playable for the left fielder. Kerr makes the catch. Correction, that's DeLong who just checked in as the new left fielder. DeLong makes the catch, out number 2 in the inning.
Next up, number 27, KK Mathis.
Brings up KK Mathis here for Duke. Mathis is 0 for 2, strikeout in the 2nd. A tapper back to the circle in the 3rd. First pitch